Welcome back to FryMinis. I'm Eric, and we're gonna just get right into it. So today we're talking about feats in the new Planescape D&D book. These are a series of feats that all kind of do that branching, building out tree feat thing that I like. It gives you kind of like build into your character type. I like it. Let's go. Scion of the Outer Planes. Your connection to an outer plane infuses you with the energy there. Choose the type of plane listed in the planar infusion table. Your choice gives you resistance to a damage type and the ability to cast a cantrip as specified in the table. You can cast this cantrip without material components, and your spellcasting ability for it is intelligence, wisdom, or charisma. Choose when you select this feat. Planar infusion. Plane. Chaotic outer plane. Damage resistance, poison, cantrip, minor illusion. Evil outer plane, necrotic, and chill touch. Good outer plane, radiant and sacred flame. Lawful outer plane, force and guidance. The outlands, psychic and mage hand. So if you're watching along and you saw our backgrounds video, we covered this a little bit on there. I think this is a great feat. This is prerequisites to be in a Planescape campaign, which I think is normal, and if you really want to open it up in a different campaign, cool, there's no harm there. Getting resistance from a background I think is super cool. Getting cantrip is great, but this kind of sets the tone that your character is somehow involved with planar type stuff. And if you are playing in a Planescape campaign, and you're using one of the two new backgrounds in this book, which check out the video for more info on those, you either get this feat as a part of either of those backgrounds, or if you're using a different background like sailor or whatever, you can choose from skilled or tough. And of course you can always homebrew to expand those out, but I think those are both great starter feats. Okay, so Scion of the Outer Plane, that's your starter level 1 feat. Now the rest of these are all going to be level 4 or greater feats that you take based on your selection in the Scion. So if you took the good outer plane option in the Scion feat, you can then take the good feat here, which we'll go through all those here in a second, but that's the flow. So you've got level 1 and then level 4. There's nothing beyond that. It's just level 1, level 4, and again, you can take those at a higher level or whatever. If you're doing this, you're probably going whole hog, right? So here we go. Agent of Order, prerequisites, 4th level, Scion of the Outer Planes, lawful outer plane feat. You can channel cosmic forces of order to gain these benefits. Ability score increase an ability score of your choice by 1 to a maximum of 20. Stasis strike. Once per turn, when you damage a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself, you can deal an extra 1d8 force damage to the target, and it must make a wisdom saving throw. DC is equal to 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus the modifier of the spellcasting ability you chose for the Scion on the Outer Plane feat. As spectral bindings try to ensnare it. On a successful save, the target escapes. On a failed save, the target has the restrained condition until the start of your next turn. These bindings manifest as chains or some other symbol of stasis. You can use this benefit a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so this structure, you're going to see it a lot. You get a +1 to an ability score up to 20, and then you get a cool on-use feature. This particular one, I think is pretty neat. A little extra damage is always great. And then potential restrain with no concentration. I think that's pretty cool. Of course, you can always combine that with other things like a battle master maneuver when you really need to kind of, or a paladin smite when you need to kind of nova a little bit of damage out there. And the multiple uses is great too. So I think it's a good feat. I don't think it's a game changer or anything like that, but I think it's solid. Baleful Scion, prerequisites 4th level, Scion of the Outer Planes, evil outer plane feat. You can channel cosmic forces of evil to gain these benefits. Ability score increase an ability score of your choice by 1 up to a maximum of 20. Grasp of Avarice. Once per turn, when you damage a creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself, you can also deal necrotic damage to it. The necrotic damage equals 1d6 plus your proficiency bonus, and you regain a number of hit points equal to this necrotic damage dealt. You can use this benefit a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Classic necromancer type of damage and self-heal. I like it a lot. It's very thematic, of course. I like that this one's not tied to a weapon attack or anything, so you can use it on a spell. It doesn't even have to be a spell attack. It can be a save. So I think it's great. D6 plus proficiency bonus is a little light for proficiency bonus per long rest. I'm looking at it over here. That's where I'm looking. I don't know. Maybe if it was proficiency or D6 plus half your character level or something. I don't know. It's okay. It's totally fine. The other one I like a little more. I don't know why, but I do. Cohort of Chaos, 4th level, Sign of the Outer Planes, Chaotic Outer Plane feat. You can channel cosmic forces of chaos to gain these benefits. Ability score increase an ability score of your choice by 1 to a maximum of 20. Chaotic Flare, when you roll a 1 or a 20 on an attack roll or a saving throw, the magic of chaos flows through you. Roll a d4 and consult the Chaotic Flares table to determine what happens. A flare lasts until the end of your next turn, and a new flare can't occur until after the first flare ends. Chaotic Flares D4 table. 1. Battle Fury. A creature of your choice that you can see is filled with reckless fury. It has advantage on attack rolls and disadvantage on ability checks. 2. Disruption Field. Waves of energy ripple around you. Every creature that starts its turn within 5 feet of you, or that moves into that area for the first time on a turn, takes 1d8 force damage. 3. Unbound. When you move, you can use some or all of your walking speed to teleport yourself once, along with any equipment you're wearing or carrying, up to the distance used to an unoccupied space that you can see. 4. Wailing Winds. Winds swirl in a 15-foot radius sphere centered on you. You and any other creature in that area have disadvantage on wisdom saving throws. Okay, so same thing. This is our chaos version. I love this one. I think this is so fun. So your ability score increased. Okay, cool, great, awesome. Rolling anytime you get a 1 or 20 is just like a fun thing, especially obviously pair this in with a wild magic sorcerer or something like that, and you can just have a wild ball of chaos. I think it's really cool. So Battle Fury, pick a creature and it gains attack roll advantage and a disadvantage on ability checks. I think is really interesting. First thought, I'm reading this and I would think it would be just basically reckless attack, where then creatures have attack against you, like a barbarian. But no, I think it's cool. I think it's fun, and you can use this on an enemy if like a caster, they're not going to make an attack against you probably, right? So you can then ability checks, shove it, knock it prone, and it probably wasn't going to make it in the first place. Something like that. You be a little spicy with it. Disruption Field, D8 of force damage around you. Hopefully you're not standing in the middle of a bunch of your friends, of course. But I think that could be a lot of fun too. Just here's some damage. No choice. Just take it. Not sure how to optimize. There's out there. Let me know how you can optimize this one, but it seems fun. Unbound, I love this one. So you can say, okay, I'm going to use 5 feet to teleport just out of your reach, so I'm not going to get that opportunity attack. Or, hey, I'm gonna use all 30 feet or whatever and pop up on that ledge. Very cool. I really like you can use however much you want. I think that's a really cool way to go with this. And Wailing Winds, disadvantage on wisdom saves. This is really, really great. Of course, you're in the middle of it, but there's so many spells that you can pick the targets or whatever, and you plop it right in that area, and boom, everybody's got disadvantage. That's excellent. Outlands Envoy. Prerequisite 4th level, Scion of the Outer Planes, the Outlands feat. You have spent significant time in Sigil or the Outlands, the crossroads of the multiverse. Being steeped in converging planar energies grants you these benefits. Ability score, increase in ability score of your choice up by 1 to a maximum of 20. Crossroads Emissary. You learn the Misty Step and Tongues spell. You can cast each spell once using this feat without a spell slot, and you must finish a long rest before you can cast the spell in this way again. When you cast Tongues using this feat, you require no material components. You can also cast these spells using spell slots you have of the appropriate level. The spell's spellcasting ability is the one chosen when you gain the Scion of the Outer Planes feat. Another really good one. I like this a lot. So, ability score increase, cool. Obviously, Misty Step, one of the best spells in the game, from utility, from combat, from just every capacity. Misty Step is always a great pick. If you can ever pick Misty Step, you should probably have it. Tongues, I think, is a cool spell that a lot of people don't actually use, because a lot of times I feel like languages are just kind of hand waved away, or this one person can translate, and then boom, it's all solved. So regardless of that, the actual thematics here of you getting that kind of language to talk to different people from all over the place, I think is excellent. I do want to circle back a little bit on this. So without spellcasting components, which is great, but all the way back to the Scion feat, those cantrips don't need components. So great way to do things silently, stealthily, no counter spell way. Like that's another one of those things that I think probably real world doesn't come up a ton in games, but if you're playing with the rules, it can be very, very helpful. And if you don't play with the rules, that's okay. Okay, if you're following along in alphabetical order, we're actually going to skip one and come back to it so we can finish out these particular ones. So here's the good version. Righteous Heritor. Prerequisites 4th level, Scion of the Outer Planes, good outer plane feat. You can channel cosmic forces of good to gain these benefits. Ability score increase in ability score of your choice by 1 to a maximum of 20. Soothe Pain. When you or a creature within 30 feet of you takes damage, you can use your reaction to reduce that damage by 1d10 plus your proficiency bonus. You can use this benefit a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. Okay, so ability score increasing and cool. The idea of reducing the damage, I think, is great. I think just thematically it makes sense. You know, you're the good character. Of course, you're reducing damage done to people. I struggle a little bit though, because all the other stuff, there's no reaction involved, right? For the things that have like the damage or whatever. But this does use your reaction. And I know a D10, I think, is kind of the standard, right? Like for Goliath or whatever. I do feel this should be a little stronger, or maybe even it scales with your level or something, since it does use your reaction in comparison with the other ones, since they don't require reaction. Now, if those ones, if the other feats did require a reaction, it'd be okay, you know, it'd be okay. But I don't know. I feel like this one's definitely the weakest, probably. I don't hate it, but okay. So this next one, this other feat, this is just a general feat. So this feat you can take regardless of which plane alignment you picked. So you could theoretically get 3 feats, right? You could get the Scion, you could get one of these, like the good one we just covered, and then you can also get this Planar Wanderer. The only requirement for this is that you took the Scion feat. So take a look. Planar Wanderer, prerequisite 4th level, Scion of the Outer Plane feat. Okay, you also have to be 4th level. You can draw on the forces of the multiverse to survive cosmic extremes and to traverse its infinite realms, granting you these benefits. Planar Adaptation. When you finish a long rest, you gain resistance to either acid, cold, or fire damage, your choice, until you finish your next long rest. Portal Cracker. Your experience with portals allows you to open them without a portal key. As an action, you can concentrate on a portal you're aware of that is within 5 feet of you and make a DC 20 Intelligence Arcana check. On a failed check, you take 3d8 psychic damage, and you can't use this benefit on that portal again until you finish a long rest. On a successful check, you can force the portal open or closed for 1 hour. For that duration, the portal doesn't respond to its portal key unless a creature employing the key succeeds on a DC 20 Intelligence Arcana check as an action. Portal Sense. You know the direction to the last planar portal you used while you and the portal are on the same plane of existence. Moreover, as an action, you can detect the location of any portals within 30 feet of you that aren't behind total cover. Once you detect a portal with this action, you can't use this action again until you finish a long rest. Okay, so getting a resistance that you can choose, you can flip around a little bit. Very, very cool. Resistances are always good, especially if you somehow don't already have fire resistance from something. Always a good pick. I like that you can change it so that way you get the vibe of like you're going to these different worlds and you can kind of match what's going on there. I think that's great. The other two pieces of this, opening and closing a portal and sensing a portal, very specific. This is very specific to a campaign, like such as a Planescape campaign. This isn't going to really make sense for probably most campaigns, generally speaking, or you can squeeze it in there and the DM can find a way to include portals, kind of like that ranger subclass that can detect portals. It's a really cool idea, and honestly, just like rangers in general, can completely just ignore an entire section of what could be a campaign otherwise, trivialize any challenge there. But otherwise, aside from that, is not super great. But I like it. It's thematic. I think it's very thematic, and it is theoretically, technically, specific to this Planescape campaign, which is going to have a lot of portals. So I like this overall structure. I know some people have conflicted feelings about stacking feats. I like it. You got your base feat, you got your alignment feat, and then if you want to go with this feat, you can do that too. I think this is a good selection of feats for a book. I really like feats. I just kind of wish D&D feats were a little different in that you could take more feats, maybe make them weaker. I know I know Pathfinder exists, don't worry. Because I like that kind of customization. So that's why one of the reasons I like those feat trees is growing off of that. I don't think every book needs to be a full, hey, here are 30 feats that are great across the board. I think including campaign-specific feats in a book that is primarily a campaign setting book, I think it's totally appropriate. So I'm okay with that. I think that's good. I'm sold. What do you think? Please, FryMinis.com. Come do Banderhobbtober. Discord.gg/FryMinis. Come hang out. All right, we'll do more. Thanks, bye.